Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs, from little old Georgia to all the way to the UAE. This is Around the Blockchain. We come to you Monday through Friday at 5:06 p.m., sometimes 5, bringing you your favorite topics that you love to hear about with your favorite guests, and we got a good one today. That's right, we got another mini New Money Gang takeover trying to take place. We're going to have Chainz on, sitting in Justin Williams' seat right there. We also have CryptoJebb. We hope that he's feeling a little bit better. He was down on the weather a little bit, but now he's coming back. We also have Mind Your Biz. You know, he'll tell you what to do, but then he'll tell you to mind your biz, keep it moving. And taller than the average American male, we have Ben Armstrong, still pumping up the jam. All right, it's been a volatile week. It looks like, we had those huge weekend pumps, and then, came down a little bit. Bitcoin looks like it's up actually on the 24-hour by 1%. We were in about like a 5% downtrend. But right now, Bitcoin holding above 38,000 right now. We also have Ethereum, $2,257, up 0.2%. Ooh, big moves right there. Axie. We're going to talk about it at the end of the show. Axie continuing to pump. Axie Infinity up almost over 30% at one point. Looks like Daffy pumped about 15%. It looks like Martini Guy did a video about them. AMP has taken a little bit of a tumble. It's down about 20%. Cardano laying flat. It's still down a little bit. Doge, all my Doge holders out there, we're down about 4%. Jebb, you're back. We want to ask you, what are the markets looking like? It's been a crazy week, man. People want to know your opinion.
Yeah, so the markets have been insane over the last 7 days. As you guys know, we bottomed out around $30,000 on Bitcoin about a week ago. And after we did that, we started rallying. There was quite a bit of talk about money leaving exchanges and going into wallets. And there was a lot of talk about whales. And there was a lot of talk about interest in the space by institutions. And then, guys, obviously, we saw that big Amazon news that Amazon was allegedly going to be investing in Bitcoin and accepting Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies onto their platform. They've come out and denied that, although I have my doubts. I think that they just didn't want it announced yet. That's my 2 cents on that. I think they're still probably working on something, or else they wouldn't be hiring people in blockchain. But nevertheless, we've seen the Bitcoin rally to $40,600 or so, and it's pulled back. And a lot of people have been very concerned, saying, oh my gosh, is this the end of this rally? We've rallied to $40,600. Is it over now? Are we going to go back down to 30? I'll be honest, I thought that we were going to see Bitcoin go down to about 26,000 before we started taking off as a result of this Amazon news and a few other things. We were seeing across the board, technicals were saying, and on-chain metrics, market sentiment, a lot of different things were pointing towards a high 20s Bitcoin. But now that we've broken all the way up to 40,000, we've shifted the market sentiment, and people are much more bullish on the market than they were. We've exhausted a lot of the sellers. So I think that now that we've pulled back about $3,000, we're sitting around, what are we sitting at right now? Close to about 38,000. We've managed to cool off, and we've given the bulls a chance to rest, and we've let those sellers try and sell. But I think that uptrend is going to continue over the next couple of weeks, especially coming up with EIP 1559 hopefully coming out in about 2 weeks. I'm expecting that to do some good things for Ethereum as well.
Yeah, we might see a little bit of a reversal where Bitcoin usually drags Ethereum kicking and screaming. We might see a little bit of a reverse there. We'll see. I remember you saying we're going to go down, around 26. Some of the more bullish participants of the show were disagreeing with you. We'll see. We'll see. It looks like may not reach that low. And if you want to check out all the in the description right here, we have the links for all the channels here. Make sure you go show them that BitSquad love. And if you like what you're hearing, hit +1 in the chat. We'll make sure you get the points at the end of the show. Pump it up, and pump up those likes right now. We have a few thousand people watching. We're only at 500 likes. I know we can get up to 1,000 easily in the next 10 or so minutes. We're going to be talking about Amazon. They have issued a denial on the Bitcoin news. There's the currency battle. All right, that's the denial river.
Oh my gosh.
Ha ha. That was BJ's call. He said, you know what, that is going to land. That one's going to land, and it's going to land hard. And we also have
landed in the trash. That's where it landed.
in the trash.
Well, DZ, you know what the secret to a really good joke is, right?
What's that?
Do you know it's timing?
This timing.
This timing.
You know what? I butchered it.
And not having to explain it either.
Yeah, you know what? You know, I butchered it. He's like, "What do you think of this graphic?" I was like, "What does this have to do?" He's like, "It's a denial." I was like, "Oh, Amazon denies."
Look,
okay,
I appreciate how far you guys went to make that happen. So it did bomb, but I appreciate the effort.
Let's lead with you,
Most of my
Ben.
jokes are effortless. So, but
I know, because I write them all for you. We'll lead with you. We're talking about Amazon. They're denying the Bitcoin news. You know, last week, those who don't know, they issued a job hiring saying they needed a lead technical, you know, cryptocurrency expert. And then there was rumors. Rumors were abound that they're adding to their balance sheets. And then, you know, they've actually issued a statement saying, let's see, I have it here. We remain focused on exploring what this could look like for customers shopping on Amazon, but they have no. Basically, they're just being very vague. You know, it seems like, you know, perhaps they are having a big buy. Maybe they are going to do some things in the future. But as Jebb alluded to, they might not want people to know about it just yet. What's your take on that, Ben?
Well, this is where the corner of the two longest rivers in the world meet here. This is where Amazon and denial come together. So that was a much better joke. It was much better. I just came up with it on the spot. You didn't even write that one. So
yeah,
I didn't even know you know how to write. So, but you know, the thing is, there was a very vague denial, as you mentioned, because they're not coming out and saying we're not doing this. Look, guys, I said this more on the stream. Amazon is now extremely bullish on crypto. Is it because they had like just a change of heart? No, it's just because their structure of personnel has changed dramatically. We have Jeff Bezos out. He is now, ironically, chasing space and chasing the moon. Meanwhile, Andy Jassy, the new CEO of Amazon, he's chasing the moon in a more traditional crypto way, as he is ready to really fully embrace crypto. This is the new guard. Jeff Bezos, he came in. Now, you can call him a lizard person. You can say he's in the financial cartel. You can say a lot of stuff about him. I can say bad stuff about Jeff Bezos all day, but you got to give the man his due. I mean, he certainly started a company in a garage that turned into a behemoth and made him the world's richest man. Temporarily, the world's second richest man after he got divorced, but now he's made enough money to make up for the divorce money already. So the guy's insanely rich. He did insanely well. I think now he's obviously too political and a lot of problems with him at this point. But you got to give the man his due for building Amazon. But that chapter is now closed. This is like the handing off of the baton, the handing off of the torch from one person to the next. Every runner that gets the baton, they got their own running style. Andy Jassy is a much more technologically savvy guy. He's not coming into a garage having to write invoices by hand. He's coming into a fully, technologically immersive company in Amazon, and he wants crypto to be a part of that. It doesn't matter if he wants it or not. He understands the blockchain is the future, and they're going to jump on that wave. If they don't, they're going to get left behind.
Yeah, so a lot of this came from a single free newspaper out of London called the City AM. It was citing a single unnamed insider, quote unquote, and crypto news, crypto Twitter, all the YouTubes, everyone just took off with the news, started to explode. But Chainz, I want to bring it to you. We saw something similar with Apple when they added Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Now, Amazon's going out. They're issuing denials, no pun intended. Is this a river of misinformation? No, I want to say, is this an issue of where there's smoke, there's fire? Do you think there's anything to the rumors?
Well, first, let me apologize for my internet quality connection. I think my AOL disk must be running out of minutes here at the...
I got another one for you.
That'll do it.
I think, when you play at the level that some of these companies play at, and maybe something gets leaked before it's supposed to, I think there's a lot of backpedaling. Like Amazon's a big company, Apple's a big company. I think, if the wrong information gets out at the wrong time, then PR takes over. And I think that's probably what you saw with, this most recent case is, oh, shoot, like, we probably shouldn't be talking about this quite yet because we're not ready. They posted a job ad in the blockchain space. So, everybody should know that this is coming. They are a huge tech company, one of the largest in the world. And so you got to expect, to stay up, to stay relevant. It's coming at some point, this whole blockchain and Bitcoin and everything that you're, thinking about. So, who knows if there's smoke, there's really sure. All I know is that there probably is a PR nightmare going on behind the scenes that someone's trying to put a fire out. That's what I would think.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it with Tesla. Mine, I'm bringing to you. What kind of timeline do you think Amazon will have to issue Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies in any kind of meaningful capacity? Are we looking, before the end of the year? Is this something 5 years from now?
Okay, now you're asking me to make a prediction, which I can't reasonably make. So let me first off start by disclaiming the crap out of what comes next, okay? First off, guys, no advice being offered by Senor Mind Your Biz here. Let me jump back really quick and take a global look at what we're talking about. First off, on a global sphere, the Amazon and denial are not even on the same continent. So if you believe that, you're in a world of hurt. Let's go back to what started the whole rumor mill. Yeah, I know, right? We can tie these things up with a bow. It's cool. I'm here all day. Are we going to come back for more of those? Signs point to yes. All right.
Points to yes,
all right, guys.
Baby.
Yeah. Let me start though. The rumors were started by a job posting, and I covered this news on my channel earlier today. We did the retraction like everybody else had to, right? Job postings don't lie. PR firms do. And right now, I won't say that what Amazon is doing by way of the denial is an outright lie. It's not an outright lie. However, job postings, it's very clear that they're actually looking for a cryptocurrency and blockchain lead. That's not for nothing. What does Amazon do outside of have a massive multinational stance, right, in e-commerce and massive multinational presence in terms of being able to fulfill everybody's online shopping desire? They power the internet, right? They run AWS. If you like Netflix, guess what? You're actually using Amazon services. If you like almost any other service that you use on your smartphone, guess what? Powered by Amazon. Of course, Amazon has to get involved in cryptocurrencies. Of course, Amazon has to leverage blockchain. Now, to go back to your question, DZ, which is untimely and impossible for me to answer reasonably, is it going to happen before the end of the year? Nobody knows. Nobody can reasonably say that. Now, it has, as far as blockchain infrastructure, as far as payments go, as far as Amazon as a marketplace accepting payments, well, we know that that opportunity has been filled by third parties, such as Purse.io, right? This is not a promotion for them. I don't have any connection to them. We know that that need has been filled by enterprising people in the cryptocurrency space over years now because of Amazon's inaction. And you can bet your bottom dollar they do not any longer want to be cut out of the deal flow. They want a piece of the pie too. But before the end of the year, my best guess, no. Probably sometime next year when they can debut their own infrastructure, either for second layer scaling or maybe their own token.
Okay. Jebb, correct me if I'm wrong. Before, I believe I heard you say it's not so much the fundamentals that will move the price of a coin. It's more to do with the technical indicators. So I want to ask you, when Tesla added Bitcoin to the balance sheet, it skyrocketed. It definitely jumped up. I think the pump over the weekend was more due to the short sellers. But say Bitcoin was added to their balance sheet, or say they did start accepting Bitcoin for payments, or at least announced a roadmap. Do you think that would be enough of a fundamental to really move that price upward?
Yeah, so to clarify my stance, what I mean by that, what I mean is that the fundamentals impact long-term price appreciation, whereas the technicals and big news stories like Amazon potentially adopting Bitcoin are the things that move the short-term news, move the short-term price action, because people get very emotional when they see that a $2 trillion company that employs 1 million people around the world is going to be buying their investment, Bitcoin. So that naturally is going to move the market. To answer your second question first, yes, absolutely. If they came out and we found out that Amazon had cryptocurrency on the balance sheet, or they came out and they said, okay, we're launching something where we're going to be utilizing blockchain scalability solutions for AWS. Or another thing that people need to keep in mind is that Amazon is one of the largest payment service providers on the planet because of how many people do business with them. They just by their size are a major payment service provider. So if they came out tomorrow and said that they were doing something to that effect, then it would have a tremendous impact on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. What I want people to remember, though, and this is something I talked about on our show this morning, is that the impact of Amazon is twofold. Number one, if they actually do buy into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, it's going to have a marked impact on the long-term future of Bitcoin. It's going to be a big step forward in adoption. It's obviously going to be a landmark moment in the history of the adoption of crypto. However, there's also the fact that we have seen, whether or not it's true, the entire cryptocurrency space get very excited about Amazon potentially getting into cryptocurrency. And even like yesterday when we covered this, we literally put in our title, rumor, Amazon may be buying Bitcoin. And I said before I went to the article, guys, this is a rumor. We've talked about this before with Apple and Facebook, and all kinds of things. We've gotten ourselves so excited and so hyped up over news. I didn't want that to happen to our viewers. So I was like, hey guys, this is speculation. Pump the brakes. Don't get too excited yet. Let's wait for confirmation. But even though this was not confirmed, and even though this did not actually happen, it caused such a major shift in the market sentiment, in the feelings that people have towards Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, that no matter whether or not Bitcoin is actually being adopted by Amazon, that alone, that market sentiment shift has had a major impact on the price action, and it's why I think that we're actually going to be going into a new uptrend right now. And another thing you mentioned, DZ, is you talked about the short sellers. There was a massive short squeeze a couple of days ago also. That has been having an impact on the price action as well. So,
all right, Chainz, I'm gonna bring it to you. You know, you're repping new money, gang. You know, you got your ears to the streets. You know what the young people are into. You know what I mean? You know what the new investors. You know, a lot of them. You know, they're hustling. They're pulling themselves up by the bootstraps. Explain to me how that works. But as these tech companies, specifically the FANG stocks, you know, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, as the younger generation who is a little more familiar with cryptocurrency starts taking more of these middle management / leadership positions, will we see more of a trend towards cryptocurrency adoption, or are they still going to, you know, stick their heels into the ground and hold firm?
Well, I mean, I think it's just natural that you're going to see the young people get into something that's a little bit newer, a little bit more fresh, a little bit more exciting. I mean, we joke about this all the time. Like in the stonks world, it's like, these guys get super excited about a 3% gain. I mean, most people that are into crypto, like, you're not getting out of bed for anything less than 10%. You know what I mean? Like, so 3%, get it out of here. I don't even want any of that. You know, so yes, so as the young people starting to get into the mid-management level or even beyond that, and we start to see a lot of the old guys, old women, whatever, get out of the business world, yes, we are going to see more adoption. We are going to see more younger people get into it. I mean, that's just what you do. You're into tech, you know, you do what your come up is, you know, like for me, it was like, you know, whatever video games it was, like, you know, I wasn't really around for the Xbox and the PlayStations, you know, for me, it was like Sega Genesis and whatever. So like, that's what I would just continue with. And like, with the young kids, you know, that's what they're doing is the crypto stuff. And that's what we're doing. That's what they're doing. That's what's going to bring it around, is when you see these people just really come into, you know, the business sense, and they're, you know, they're part of their careers.
All right. Well, before we're getting ahead on time here, sorry, a little bit late. So we're going to jump into the next topic here. Currency battle of the future. I specifically mean USD versus, you know, non-sanctioned stablecoins versus Bitcoin. You know, is there going to be room for all three, or basically is someone going to take the top spot from USD? Ben, I know you have some hot takes on this. You know, we have Janet Yellen, we have Elizabeth Warren. You know, they're rallying against stablecoins, but then on some side they say, oh, well, there might be stablecoins that we work with. Is there going to be rooms? Let's say in the future, you know, we have a digital dollar. Are they going to be able to hide the money printing machine with blockchain technology? How do you think they're going to try to go about, you know, being non-transparent, or will they be transparent?
Look, guys, it's time to start realizing that the narrative is totally changing. Now, this is a larger contextual narrative, not about the sentiment. The sentiment's already changed. We're already on the way back up. You know, we had a short squeeze on Sunday. I'm hearing rumors there could be another one coming. So be careful and watch out. If you are shorting the market, you are probably going to get wrecked in the next 2 to 3 days, maybe sooner. Okay. But when it comes to this narrative of inflation, we've been trained to believe, and logic and common sense would lend itself to make you believe, that the money printing is going to continue out of control, because how can they possibly stop it? Okay. You look at the money supply, it's out of control. Well, these people pull the strings. We are going to hear inflation, money printing, and we are actually changing to deflation. Raoul Pal talked about this. There's a lot of people that are starting waking up to the fact, maybe because they have inside information. There was another story about the bond yields. They were talking about from, I think it was from Janet Yellen's meeting today. They're going to be heading towards decreasing the bond yields. It probably will eventually go negative. What that will do, that will actually cause us to flip towards deflation instead of inflation. The only way, and I know as people, like, we're trying to figure out this and wrap our minds around, well, how can you just go from inflation and out of control inflation, the worst inflation we've ever had, right? 5% in a month, for the CPI. Like, how do we go from that to deflation? It doesn't even make sense. The only way to make the dollar more valuable at this point is to make the dollar more valuable. The only way to do that is through deflation. How do they do that? Well, number one, they destroy the bond yields, and that will play the bonds play a really significant role in inflation versus deflation. You can actually track the bond yields, and you can find out when it went negative, that's when we were in deflation. So that's probably what's coming. The banks are going to want to hold on to more of their money. They're cutting off credit lines everywhere. The people in the know this is coming. And so all I can do, the same way we told you guys, don't sell your Bitcoin, don't sell your Ethereum. We added Cardano and XRP, but let's just go to our original message. Don't sell your Bitcoin, don't sell your Ethereum. Look, that's bearing out to be true. Okay, now could you get a better entry price? Sure, but that's what they were trying to do, was force you out. That's what the manipulation was trying to do. This is the new message. Watch for the inflation versus deflation. When you hear the government, when you hear mainstream media saying, get out of the dollar, get out of the dollar, get out of the dollar, that's a warning sign. The banks are going to be trying to hold on to their dollars, because I believe a shift towards a digital currency is coming sooner rather than later. And that could be a big driving factor in this switch from inflation to deflation. Because if we switch to a digital currency, right, where, yes, they can't hide the money printing. They never could hide the money printing. There's always been stuff to track that. With blockchain, you certainly won't be able to hide it. It's just a press of a button now, instead of having to actually run printing presses to print those dollars. So they certainly won't be able to hide the money printing. But the only way to make the dollar more valuable, switch it to deflation, if you get a digital currency that's borderless, more people around the world, everyday citizens from other places, can start using that digital dollar, and that could increase the demand for the dollar, which could, switch it back to deflation. So that's a narrative to watch over the next year. Just be careful with this inflation. If things are changing drastically.
Yeah, the inflation, straight to deflation, it smells a little fishy. It really does seem like the genie is out of the bottle, much like Aladdin. Robin Williams, the best genie, by the way. Sorry, Will Smith, we love you here. If you're a Will Smith fan, please hit that like. If it's summertime and you like DJ Jazzy Jeff, also hit that like button. So we had the Heritage Foundation. They're releasing some statements about it, saying there's going to be a supremacy battle between Bitcoin and the U.S. dollar, saying he doesn't envision Bitcoin surpassing USD anytime soon, not within his lifetime. He was saying the government is terrified, therefore, a lot more crypto regulation is going to be hitting the pipeline soon. So mind your biz. I want to ask you, is there a day where Bitcoin is the dominant currency for global trade?
Oh man, see so what you're saying between the lines there is hyper Bitcoinization a reality? Is it a possibility? Is there a world in which that can even happen? So you kind of lined me up for something that I think preps me for failure. First off, audience, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Bitcoin is useful for what it's useful for. It is not going to replace the US dollar anytime soon. It's not going to replace fiat currencies of any national denomination anytime soon. We've got scaling problems. We actually had hidden inflation problems as early as only 3 years ago, if you were paying attention to the tech. Bitcoin is a beautiful, beautiful piece of code. Satoshi Nakamoto needs to receive either a posthumous or a pseudonymous Nobel Prize for that contribution to the world, because it allows us to aspire for something much greater than just fiat currencies and systems of revolving debt. However, Bitcoin is not the panacea that some would have you believe. I think probably a common thread here on BitBoy's channel, and you probably hear it in other areas of the crypto sphere for people who are, balanced thinkers and trying to evaluate all sides. Anti-maximalism is the way. Don't get stuck in dogmatic thinking, believing that Bitcoin will somehow replace your dollar. It's just not happening. I don't see that happening soon. I don't see it happening even in the midterm or maybe even in the long term. We've got also, to date, actually, Bitcoin being somewhat inflationary in its supply. There are so many things economically that Bitcoin does not do that it needs to be able to do to have it become the basis for a global currency or even just a de facto reserve currency in some country other than smaller pilot countries like El Salvador. We're going to see like El Salvador, as this becomes proposed maybe in some states here in the United States, just acceptance as legal tender and those sort of trial runs. Could we make Bitcoin work? Could we do this? Does hyper Bitcoinization work in this tiny petri dish? How can we see this actually come to fruition in some possible future event? I'm sorry, Doc Brown. I don't care what future you're looking at. Bitcoin is not going to directly replace the dollar. If anything, it could become a supplement into some kind of a basket of reserve currencies or reserve values, very similar to how the US relied on gold in the past, but with a much better auditable supply, a much more sound way of auditing the supply. You like hard currencies? Yes, Bitcoin is for you. You think that it's going to be the hard currency that replaces your US dollar, your pound sterling, your euro? I don't know what you're smoking, but pass me some, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Speaking of hard currency, that background is going super hard as well. I feel like I'm in a 90s movie, Lawnmower Man or Angelina Jolie's Hackers, and I love it. I'm loving it. I'm all
Those are
about
great
it.
movies.
Very
it's
bullish.
Lawnmower Man, to be sure.
Very bullish on your background. Smash a like if you like his background. All right, so Justin, J Chainz, I'm gonna bring it to you real quick. Those who don't know, Justin's sitting in Justin's seat. So we have Elizabeth Warren. I know you have feelings towards her. You know, former presidential candidate, current senator. She described crypto as a fourth-rate alternative to real currency. Not even second-rate, not even third-rate, but fourth-rate. She appears much more open to the idea of a central bank digital currency. You know, obviously less so on Tether. Is this, is this something that we're going to have to worry about? Is like, do we need to fight this? Do we need to remain vigilant on, the government encroaching on crypto regulation? Or do you think they just don't know what they're doing?
Of course we need to remain vigilant. Are you kidding me?
All right.
The governments, they want to keep control. They want to keep people as sheep. I mean, you're seeing that with what's going on with regulations that make no sense in just about every facet of the life we're living in right now. They want the upper hand. We know this. A woman like Senator Elizabeth Warren, she is a bozo. I don't think that. I'm sorry, if you like her, my bad.
Tell us how you really feel, J Chainz.
Well, I don't want to get the channel shut down, or else I would. But of course, the answer is yes. Of course, the government, you're going to have to keep vigilant. We're going to have to keep pushing forward. I mean, yes, Bitcoin, much like what Seth said, Bitcoin's not going to be the currency. Something else will be the currency. It will be our store of value. But you just got to make sure that we just keep pushing forward with decentralization. You can't let the governments just keep controlling people, keeping their foot on the brakes of everything that's going on and keeping people from living a financially free life. I mean, it's upsetting to see, like, when they start talking about regulation and, we've been preaching this for years, like, it's the people's money, now bank the unbanked, but, you start seeing all this regulation that comes in, and I understand that needs to be a little bit of regulation in some regards so that it's not just the Wild West forever. But I'm telling you what, man, if you give the government an inch, they are going to take a few miles. We all know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Hey, we got a super chat by Riyam Al-Lami. I hope I said that correctly. Thank you very much. Cat emoji, fish emoji. We love it here. If you like cats or dogs, make sure you go hit that like button.
No, he's saying you're catfishing.
We like
catfish. Maybe I'm getting catfished here, everybody. Secret codes
1337 exposed.
Coming through. Maybe I wasn't as leet as I thought I was. We're at 1.5 thousand likes. Let's go ahead and get that up to 2,000 before the end of the show. I know we can. Last question on this topic, CryptoJebb. I want to bring it to you.
Yes,
so I asked earlier, is it possible for Bitcoin to be the dominant currency? I want to throw in an additional currency. Is it possible that it might be the digital yuan? What do you see, like, let's say in a long enough timeline here?
Yeah.
Should we worry if we're heavy on USD?
Yeah, so this is actually something I've been looking into lately, is the digital yuan and what they're doing over there. There is so much going on in China that, honestly, this could be the entire show, is us just talking about what's going on with currency in China. What China is trying to do by creating their own CBDC and everything, the renminbi, is that they want to build something where they can track every single transaction that's happening in the entire country. It's not bringing any innovation. It's only bringing more surveillance state. It's obviously not a currency that is in any way ideologically aligned with Bitcoin, but we already knew that, right? Any kind of government-backed or government-created cryptocurrency, digital currency, it's not a cryptocurrency, is definitely not going to have the same underlying ideological foundations that we do here in crypto, of decentralization, of being your own bank, etc. So as far as what currencies we should be looking at, that's really a Forex question. If we start getting into that, the digital yuan and the yuan as it stands right now is a very powerful currency that has about 2%. It makes up about 2% of world reserves, where the US dollar currently makes up about 65% of world reserves. I think we've been trading around 60 to 80% for US dollars in world reserves for the last 45 years. China has a dream of their currency becoming the world reserve currency. Whether or not that happens is yet to be determined, obviously. I don't think it's going to happen. I think China is building their currency, their entire nation on a foundation of debt, which we are too. They're not building their nation on a strong foundation. They're building their nation on a very inflexible and very difficult to scale economy. Which currency I would bet on in the future, if it came down to anything that China creates in the US dollar, I would bet 100 times out of 100 on the US dollar. However, with Bitcoin in the equation, that makes things more complicated, because I agree that Bitcoin is probably never going to be our daily driver currency, unless layer 2 solutions like Lightning Network do manage to be able to scale to 1 million ticks per second, which is what you would need to run the entire world. It is more than likely going to be the store of value that underpins some other currency like the US dollar. I think that what we're going to see happen over the next many years is we're going to see value flowing from the US dollar and from the yuan into Bitcoin as people realize how much more valuable something that can store value into the future is. So that's where I stand on those three currencies.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting future for sure. I mean, we'll see how it plays out over the next 10, 20 years. But let's go to our last topic here. Gaming tokens keep pumping. And if you like your tokens pumping, hit that like button. We are almost at 2,000, so let's get it up there, BitSquad. All right, so we're going to read a tweet from Lark Davis. Lark, we want you on the show.
Lark, why are you not on the show?
Yeah, Lark, where are you at? Plus, that's not even his hair. He's cut his hair. He doesn't have that same Bankman-Fried look anymore. 9 of the top 15 trending coins on CoinGecko right now are gaming coins. Last year, we had DeFi Summer. 2021, it's gaming summer. And we have the top reply, at least on my feed, was by friend of the channel, Crypto Stash. He'll be on Friday. This is a trend that won't die down anytime soon. People love games. No one really loves DeFi. This is, I got a little poster here. I don't know if the camera... Fun fact.
Yeah, we see it, but we can't hear you because you're behind the painting.
Yeah. Well, fun fact, Crypto Stash defaced our poster of BitBoy, the real BitBoy. So he was nice enough.
You should go grab the one he sent us when somebody else is talking.
We'll do.
It's in my office.
Next time I'll
the one that he sent of him.
All right. Yeah. So, one of the gaming advantages of gaming NFTs, it allows you easy access or easy trading and exchanging of in-game assets. You actually own, the things that you're putting money in versus, like a Fortnite skin, in which case it just disappears completely. Looks like we may have lost the man just for a second. Looks like he's going to try to fix Chainz thing. Developers, they also can get more income from the sale of the in-game items. You can write it on the smart contract where every time it's sold. Okay, here we go. I'll wait for BJ to sit back down. Yeah, he sent us a picture of himself. Just smash the like if you think Crypto Stash looks this cool. I don't know.
That's pretty solid.
My hand is not on the like button. I want everybody to know that.
He looks like Rorschach from the.
That's what I was thinking.
A little
yeah, he looks like
Rorschach there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he looks like Rorschach from The Watchmen.
All right.
You got two kids stacked inside that coat.
Speaking of Watchmen, let's watch what you want to say on this, man. Is the pump over? Is there more room for growth with these NFT gaming, tokens? I mean, because I'm looking at Axie Infinity right here. On the 30-day, it is up 1,221%. On the 24-hour, it's up over 25%. I mean, are we overbought? It's just a flash in the pan, or we still maybe have a little more pumping to go?
Wow, okay, thank you. I wasn't sure if you were talking directly to me. As far as that goes, I mean, trends, right? They do tend to be really, really hot. There tends to be that initial pump phase of anything that's brand new that starts to show positive price action, especially when it democratizes participation. So, As you know, on my channel, we talk a lot about proof of work mining, things with specifically GPUs. We're very much into the GPU hardware profile because some kid, right, who's 14 years old in any developed nation with a reasonable cost for power and internet access can contribute and get Ethereum back right now. That's the crypto mining coin du jour. Now you take that same sensibility, right? Take that same democratization of participation, disintermediation, if you will, of somebody else saying these guys can participate and these guys can't. And of course, people run at it for as long as it's profitable. There's that initial massive surge in popularity. You know, there's a massive takedown on Twitter for specifically Axie Infinity by Tasha. So Natasha Che, she got a lot of attention for this, saying like, you know, it is just a pump right now, and we're going to see this flash in the pan die down really, really soon. Here's the thing. I think that she is ignoring, first off, the power of pumpamentals, right?
Yep.
In the midst of a bull run, pumpamentals tend to be a science and an art all their own. And I know that's a word that's kind of like politically charged in the crypto space, and sometimes it's associated with people who we believe are scammers or whatever. Yep. But it's this new science of cryptocurrency where if you don't respect what memes can do, if you don't respect what meme lords can do, people who genuinely know how to trigger, genuinely know how to get their hands on a lever socially, they can do things that no other amount of marketing budget can do, and we've never witnessed anything like this in the history of mankind. In the same way that in the 70s and 80s, Michael Jackson became an international megastar because there was this very brief moment where media took this obscure kid from Gary, Indiana, and his family and made them like the center of attention around the world. That was unprecedented before that time. We've never seen a Michael Jackson since Michael Jackson, right? Yep. And that same phenomenon, right, of pumpamentals, people basically catching mania because they see something they've never seen before, and they experience something they've never experienced before that makes them feel like they are chosen, like they get to be a part of something that's special. Well, that's pumpamentals in a nutshell, but now we see it in an entirely different way, where instead of you just like seeing Michael Jackson at, you know, such and such venue and feeling like, wow, I'm never going to see this again, all of a sudden, now you're playing a video game and you're earning between $9 and $15 US per hour, the equivalent of $9 to $15 US per hour. What middle school kid isn't going to go do that? That's more money than he's even going to earn flipping burgers. Yep. And he's playing a video game? Are you kidding me? Yep. Yeah, there may be a bit of pumpamental action here where we do see a bit of a retracement in terms of both participation and, of course, coin value. And probably not in that order, right? Probably more so coin value comes down or the value of participation goes down. And so people start to say, well, the incentive is not quite there. What's in it for me? Not as much. I'm out. Yep. That could happen. But I think the genie's out of the bottle. I think the genie's out of the bottle. We're never stuffing it back in, right? The toothpaste's out of the tube, cat's out of the bag, Pandora's box is open. You think of whatever other analogy you want to, but like the point is, we're never going back. Yeah, there's no new Michael Jackson, but now with this, we're never going to live in a world where video games don't pay you. So if you have that model and video games don't pay your users, good luck going back.
Yeah, the pumpamentals are perfect. To quote Ivan, Ivan would also love to get you on the show. Chainz, I'm going to ask you, you know, again, you got your ears to the street, you're in the new money gang. So according to your gang, what do you think they care more about? Do they care more about like, oh, the game is actually good, or do they just care about the pumpamentals?
Ooh, we gotta respect the power of the pump. So I'm gonna be real with you right now. I am not going to beat around the bush. I'm not gonna lie to you. You lost me at gaming. I am not a gamer.
We're not nerds.
Not nerds.
Speak for yourself.
I fully understand that mass adoption within crypto assets, or at least within blockchain, is going to rely very heavily on video games. We know this. I know this. I'm not a gamer. I've never actually been a gamer. I used to play like Joe Madden Sports Talk Football or whatever it was. I didn't even know the name
Joe
of the game
Madden Sports Talk Football. Joe Madden.
That's old school.
Sports Talk Football.
See, that's John Madden.
That's non-existent, actually.
All right, that's a clip. Twitch,
that's a clip
we love
right
our
there.
Twitch. Like, make sure you clip that.
I really wanted to make sure that I got the least amount of points possible on this show so that I can go and tell my wife.
Well, I could sandbag Ben if you want. Ben, I'm going to bring it to you. Speaking of Joe Madden football talk, if Madden incorporates NFT ownership into the game, would that be enough to, like, you know, maybe get you to play with your sons or something?
Well, I do play Madden with my sons. My son's name is Madden. You guys may not know.
There you go. Is the other one Joe?
Yeah. No, Joe's his middle name. Madden, Joe. That's what we call him. I think he got Joe Montana Sports Talk Football and John Madden Football confused there, which I think is what he was going for. Look, sports games are not nerdy, okay? It's simulation for coaching. You can be a man and play, sports games. So anyways, look, it would be really cool if Madden incorporated NFTs. I think obviously not for this year, but I think for next year, that is something we'll probably see. They'll probably have NFTs of the cover. That Madden cover is always like a really big deal. I can see them doing stuff like that. Look, John Madden football is John Madden football is DJ says is just D&D for sports.
It's
so,
true.
I don't know. Well, I mean, your name's BJ, so I guess you're a D yourself.
Dang.
So listen, here's the thing. Madden has always done a really good job of innovating like new technology into it. It was one of the first games, sports games, to really integrate, custom players, being able to customize storylines, being able to, customize, or they'd have the Madden packs and the cards, which I try to play Madden Mobile. I don't even understand it all. I don't know like why I'm getting these cards and they're sending me stuff like that. I'm like Justin, like I'm a little too old for this stuff, but I obviously understand that it's the future. So, and I really like what Seth was saying, or Mind Your Biz was saying, what he was saying, is so important to understand. The future of earning money in the economy is in video games. I believe over 50% of our entire world economy in the next 40 to 50 years will be video games. That's the metaverse.
I'm keeping it on you real quick. Can some of the non-Ethereum NFTs like have a space in this market, or have we just run so far ahead with Ethereum, there's not going to be room for Solana, Cardano, or some of these other ecosystems?
How much more time do we have? I'm dead serious here, because like CryptoJebb was saying before, this is another one of those topics that if we put it into exploded view, we could take all day, right? Yeah. Yep. So yeah, Ethereum is synonymous with NFTs right now. Ethereum is synonymous with DeFi right now. We just know this is the rails that all this stuff runs on top of, and it's phenomenal. It's doing a great job right now. It's not fundamentally broken, except for the parts that are fundamentally broken on Ethereum, because there are parts that are fundamentally broken on Ethereum. The developers admit this. That's why we got the London hard fork coming up in CryptoJebb. It's less than 2 weeks. We're coming up on 8 days, if you can believe that.
It's 10
Time is
days.
flying right
Oh, it's
now.
8 days. Yeah, it's August
8
4th,
days.
I think.
Yes, and so this is it's imminent, right? Change is imminent in the crypto mining scene. Of course, we're looking at this. We're waiting with bated breath because it affects us very directly with the fee burn associated with the EIP 1559. I don't want to get political on that topic here, but what I do want to say to answer your question as directly as possible. Yes, there's room for additional participants in the NFT space. Yes, there's room for high performance rails, not just for NFTs, because if it works for NFTs, it works for DeFi too.
All right, I'm going to ask everybody a yes or no question, and then we're going to have to wrap it up. It looks like Mind Your Biz is going to be the winner. Chainz, I'm going to start with you. Are we going to see, in the next 12 months, are we going to see a gaming studio make a big, massive move, whether like, trying to own a large percentage of a gaming token or launch their own token? Next 12 months, yes or no?
You said want a yes or no? Maybe.
Okay, you get 2 points for that. You know what? Let's tie you up with Ben. CryptoJebb, yes or no? One of these gaming industry, titans. Are they going to make a giant blockchain move in the next 12 months?
I have no idea.
Jeez. I want yes or no.
Bold, man. Y'all be bold. Make a call.
Yes, they absolutely are. In fact, I own the gaming company that has already made the plans to do it.
Boom. You heard it here first, folks. That's why you watch Around the Blockchain. Ben, yay or nay? Are we going to see like EA make a move?
I'm going to say no, and reason being is because if it doesn't happen in the next 2 months, we're going to see a dramatic fall for Bitcoin in the bear market, and people won't really be as excited about coming out with this stuff in the bear market. So I'm going to say no in the next 12 months, absolutely in the next 24 months.
All right, we're going to give you one more point. We can't let Chainz beat you, but we can let him tie you.
He sucks.
Mind Your Biz, yay or nay? What do you say?
Absolutely, and here, with all due respect, Ben, you're dead wrong. So,
all right, well, we're going to give you the final word. You got 30 seconds to a minute. Tell the people what they need to hear. Is it that Ben's wrong?
Oh my gosh, no, it's not that Ben's wrong. It's that you're in the right place right now. The diversity of views that you get here on a show like this helps bring you to the truth. You can't just rely on one source. As we've seen over the last year, there's so many sources of misinformation, very few sources of truth. That's up to you. So take ownership of that, dig deeper, stay curious, stay hungry. Do not be complacent. What you're hearing from a lot of us between the lines is that there are a lot of forces that want to try to take away your privileges and in some cases, your rights. So stay curious, stay hungry, and come back for more, guys. Keep coming back. Why are you going anywhere else other than my channel?
Stay hungry.
Tomorrow.
Stay hungry. Don't sell your Bitcoin. Don't sell your Ethereum. Don't sell your Cardano. And that is all we're going to have time for today. BitSquad out. Easy. Adios.